Galaxy 4 not one of the beloved favourites of the First Doctor's era. It certainly doesn't help that it's been missing for so long, although now there are animated reconstructions of the missing episodes 1, 2, and 4 of 4 to help us supplement our enjoyment of what was initially just one available episode, obviously the third. Galaxy 4 seems like less a Star Trek TOS, both in its writing and in its televisual execution, budget probably being reserved for Dalek's master plan a bit later down the track. The animated reconstructions make this much more enjoyable, but even still, by the end of episode 2, I think most viewers, or I certainly, will feel like they've had enough. You'd fall asleep reading these scripts. They're supplemented a little bit by the visuals, both in the available episode 3 and the contemporary reconstructions, although this still stands as one of the weaker or less memorable of the Hartnell serials. At least Stephen Taylor makes for a decent action hero lead. He is more competent and takes more initiative than most companions, dare I say, throughout the entire classic run. And Vicky, I gotta say, I always preferred her to Susan, less of a damsel, though certainly sometimes a damsel. Vicky screams less, seems more resourceful and is more likeable, and seems better performed than poor Susan ever was, in my opinion. Season 3 can feel like a mixed bag when it comes to the classic Doctor Who run. I feel as though it is less impressive than the second season, which boasts both Dalek invasion of Earth and the Time Meddler, as well as fairly admirable efforts such as the Crusade, and even to some extent, especially earlier on during its unfolding narrative, the Space Museum. Season 3 might claim Dalek's Master Plan or Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve, certainly the War Machines, and even something offbeat and quite fun such as the Celestial Toymaker, although there is some distracting filler in this season. I'll be pointing it out when I get there, and quite frankly, we start the season with a painfully noticeable example of this. I don't know how many will disagree with me regarding that. So that's Galaxy 4. Even with the animated reconstructions, it feels like a bore. You know, the rather unredemptive killing of the antagonists and their inferred, mostly innocent henchmen or women feels a bit un-Who-like, although many claim that this was too frequent a trait of the JNT era. It had its roots in an earlier, less clear and still developing iteration of what is otherwise considered a non-violence advocating program during the 70s or the Tom Baker era. Many claim this is the case, and not without some solid reasons either. But hey, Galaxy 4, let's just move on now. I can't be bothered typing any more about this microwaved mid-20th century sci-fi TV drama, which this series occasionally descended into, sometimes early on, and maybe occasionally later during this classic run, but fortunately far from all of the time, as you'll presumably know well.